The one called Rourke muffled his coughing, probably behind a fist. "I'm not sure, but we need priests. At least 3 of them." Shesheshen liked priests. They tasted righteous. "Did I hear you 2 mention priests?" Shesheshen had thought there were 2. She was wrong, distracted and foggy-headed from having her hibernation interrupted. Whoever had yelled was a third voice, matched by the clank of heavy armor heading into her foyer. She listened carefully around his footfalls. The noise of his gear was cacophonous, but she believed this third man was the last. The one called Malik said, "Sire Wolfire, from certain environmental details we have reason to believe we need religious assistance." "For the last time," the third man interrupted. "My family is not employing the entire region. You said you were experts. Experts don't need to hire bonus people. That's the point of expertise. You want priests now. Do you 2 hunt monsters or just pray at them?" The one called Rourke said, "Sire Wolfire, you're not going to want to come in here yet. The odor is overpowering. Don't tell me what to do. I've slain lords. The Wolfires have killed off worms since—" His words dissolved into wet, choking sounds. The metal plates of his armor clicked musically, as though he was bending over. This third man was definitely retching. She hoped he had a helmet on so it painted the inside. It would serve him right for trespassing. The name Wolfire was familiar too. A family who claimed some ownership over her lair and occasionally sent killers after her. She'd never actually met a Wolfire before. She was in no mood to meet one now. Rourke said, "We warned you about the odor." Sire Wolfire said, "Next time, come outside and warn me. Give me one of your breathing masks." Malik said, "This is sensitive equipment." Sire Wolfire said, "Equipment my family is paying for. Now find this worm and kill it before I go looking for monster hunters who actually hunt." Listening to all their words was exhausting. They were so noisy for professional killers. Any self-respecting hunters would have used the element of surprise. Why? If Shesheshen had been cold-blooded enough to kill people as a source of income, she would have slipped in here while she slept and poisoned the pool with rosemary and lye, so she'd die in her sleep. But Shesheshen was not a monster hunter. She was prey. 3 armed visitors, and she was still weak from hibernation. From the weakness in her flesh, she ought not to have roused for weeks. Tensing her soft tissues made them tremble, as though threatening to liquefy. She didn't have the strength for a great battle today. She had to do something, and soon. These murderers couldn't be allowed to find her room and corner her. They'd do something awful, like set the place on fire or collapse it atop her. She opened pockets in her flesh and took in her first real breath of the season. The air was stale and frigid, making it feel as though icicles were forming along her innards. She shuddered, using the air to puff out her body, and emerged from her pool. Water steamed from the many lumps of her body, gone loose from weeks of slumber. The water sloshed across the stone floor until she wholly emerged. All that submersion in water left her flesh sodden. She took a step and collapsed against the nearest wall. It was always tricky, getting the hang of being conscious again. Hopefully, the monster hunters hadn't heard that. It would be embarrassing to die in this state. Most bones that she kept inside herself during hibernation digested down to nothing. Her kind did not naturally have many solid internal structures, just as the hermit crabs on the north beaches naturally lacked shells. They had to scavenge. Her mother had worn prosthetic steel fangs to compensate when she hunted. That one memory of her mother taught Shesheshen the importance of keeping tools around. Along the floor of the bathing room lay iron rods and dense stones, which she'd left out last season. She rolled across them, letting them cut through external layers of her flesh with a sting that felt like waking up. Her innards squeezed those rods and stones, aligning them into a loose skeletal structure. A steel chain once used to bind her now made an excellent spinal column, flexible without breaking when catapults lobbed debris at her. Inside her chest, where humans put their lungs, she placed an open bear trap. It was her prized skeletal possession. It did not trap bears anymore. Instead, she kept it as a secret pair of jaws for when people needed to be bitten. The harder ends of her makeshift bones tore apart her insides.